All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, in less than 2 months, Mike Krzyzewski's run as the men's head basketball coach at Duke will come to an end as he announced last year that this college basketball season would be his last. Coach K does not have to take a back seat to anyone in regards to his accomplishments on the hardwood, as no men's head basketball coach has won more games than him at the D1 level. Coach K has 5 national titles, 12 Final Four appearances, 12 ACC regular season titles, and 15 ACC tournament titles, along with 3 gold medals as the United States men's head basketball coach in the Summer Olympics. Now, when you think about Coach K's longevity, it comes down to his ability to adjust and adapt. And he's done that with the changing landscape in college basketball, as he's gone from primarily having 4-year players in his program to kids that might leave school early to now the present formula of having the majority of his players be one and done kids. You think about Coach K's legacy at Duke, and of course, the rivalry with North Carolina is second to none in all of college sports. I mean, when you think about college football, you think about Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama, Auburn, Army, Navy, just to name a few. And on the hardwood, when you think about rivalries in college basketball, the first one that comes to mind for most people is Duke and Carolina. And of course, all of those years with Coach K going up against the legendary late great Dean Smith, then Coach K going up against Roy Williams as well. And you just think about how that Carolina Duke rivalry on Tobacco Road really has defined the Atlantic Coast Conference. And fast forwarding to the president, I'm talking about this current season. Coach K and his Blue Devils are once again poised to win the ACC this year. Duke currently finds themselves tied for the top spot in the Atlantic Coast Conference with Notre Dame, but of course, Duke has the tiebreaker over the Irish due to their 57-43 win at South Bend on January 31st. Duke has really been up for the challenge this season. We've seen them score out of conference wins against both Kentucky and Gonzaga. And of course, Gonzaga is currently the top ranked team in the nation, while Kentucky is really pouring it on and persevering in a very tough SEC. So that definitely looks good for Duke. Um, a down year for the ACC overall, but still, nonetheless, Duke is still the team to beat. When I say a down year, the ACC, they might not get 9 or 10 teams, but they're still going to get at least 6 or 7. But nonetheless, Duke is still leading the way, and they are the team to beat, in my opinion, in the ACC. You think about what else Duke has accomplished this year. Coach K's last trip to Chapel Hill came on February 5th. And in that contest, we saw Duke just dominate from the opening tip as they cruised to a 20-point win over North Carolina. You look at the diaper dandies, to quote Dick Vitale, that Coach K has this year leading the way with the likes of Paolo Banchero and, of course, Trevor Keels. And then you have junior forward Wendell Moore Jr., who is also pacing the way for this Duke team as well. You look at Duke, and first and foremost, you look at their chances in the ACC tournament. And I mean, Duke has a chance to once again win this tournament. And of course, Coach K is going to be the sentimental favorite next month to get it done. But, you look at the current standings, and if the regular season ended today, Duke would be number one, and then North Carolina would be the 4 seed. And obviously they couldn't meet in the ACC championship game if things ended this way. But nonetheless, I think it would only be fitting rather to see Duke and North Carolina meet one more time in the ACC tournament. I mean, granted, they still have to meet to finish the regular season on March 5th at Cameron Indoor Stadium. And there's going to be a lot of wet eyes in that building that night. And I'm saying that night because I can imagine that would be a primetime showdown, because you want to see these two rivals go at it one more time, and there's going to be plenty at stake because North Carolina is having themselves a solid year with Hubert Davis as their head coach. I would imagine that there's going to be plenty of former Duke alum in attendance to show their support to Coach K one more last time at Cameron Indoor Stadium. But nonetheless, it still will be fitting to see Duke and Carolina get it on in the ACC tournament. When I think about that, I think about the last year of the original Big East Conference in 2013, and we were able to see Syracuse and Georgetown meet in the semis. Of course, people would have loved to have seen Syracuse and Georgetown go at it in the Big East championship game, but nonetheless, to still see them meet in the semis was sentimental. And I think the same could potentially be the case for Duke and Carolina this year with Coach K getting ready to ride off into the sunset. Also, you look at Duke finishing out the regular season as well. I talked about the game with North Carolina. Another one that you want to pencil definitely February 23rd when the Dukies go to Charlottesville to take on Virginia. Remember, it wasn't that long ago. Matter of fact, it was last Monday that the Cavaliers came to Durham and beat the Blue Devils on a last second shot. And you look at Virginia right now. Of course, I know that they lost tonight to Virginia Tech, but they are still a team that's lurking, and they are still a dangerous team in the ACC. You also look at Duke's chances in the NCAA tournament, and I think Duke wants to really finish strong, potentially win the ACC, and then that would give Coach K the opportunity to be in Greenville for the first two rounds of the tournament. I know he'd probably love his team to be in the East region this time around because the East Regional Final is in Philadelphia. And when you think about Coach K's success in the NCAA tournament, the city of Philadelphia has been kind to him. You go back to the 92 tournament, the regional final for the East was at the Philadelphia Spectrum. We saw Duke beat Seton Hall in the East Regional semis, and then of course that thriller with Kentucky in the East Regional final. Then you go back to 2001 when we saw Duke take down a pair of Pac-10 schools in the East Regional final. First, it was UCLA, and then it was USC in the East Regional final. And of course, that year Duke beat three Pac-10 teams to win Coach K's third national championship as they got the best of Arizona in the championship game. You look at it, of course, the Final Four is in New Orleans this year, and I think that Coach K and the Devils are going to be the sentimental favorites for some people. As you know, it would be fitting to have that Hollywood scripted story, so to speak, where the legendary head coach is riding off into the sunset, a winner. But I mean, either way, Coach K is a winner. It would be a feel good story to see him win, to go out a winner one last time. But nonetheless, you think about what he has accomplished and what he has meant, not just to the Duke program, not just to the ACC, but college basketball and basketball as a whole. And I think this is another shining example of being patient with a head coach. And I say that from the standpoint because Coach K's first couple of years at Duke weren't pretty. But you know what? The powers to be there stuck with him, and the rest is history. But nonetheless, Coach K does have a solid squad. I think Duke is capable of potentially making a run in the NCAA tournament. Of course, a lot has to be broken down between now and then. Finishing the regular season, who goes in hot, who's seated where, who plays who. There's a lot to factor in with that as well. But I do feel that the Devils could make a run at the title in Coach K's last year on the sidelines. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you are on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.